This is Deuce Ace, Bro to the Movies, with our review for
I'm Thinking of Ending Things.
So, let's dive right in. This is not your normal Deuce Ace fare. You know, we kind of like to, watch action movies and, stuff like that.
I watch all kind of movies.
Well,
if you go and check through our plethora of videos.
After you subscribe?
Yeah, down there, wherever it is. You'll see we've done all kinds of movies.
Okay, we have, but I think this is one of the most out there ones.
Fair.
So with that said, I'm Thinking of Ending Things is a Netflix film, Netflix original, written and directed by Charlie Kaufman, based off the book I'm Thinking of Ending Things, written by...
Clearly forgot the person's name.
Yes.
Something Reed.
Yes.
It's like Ian Reed or something, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, Ian Reed. I'm not even going to put the words there now. But, yeah, I'm going to let Ace handle this one. Ace, you got this, man.
I mean, alright, this is an extremely weird movie. It's, neither of us read the book, but apparently Charlie Kaufman went, off script, he changed some things, whatever, took director's license with this. But
Creative Liberty would have made more sense.
Alright, man, it's early, man. I'm not on my best right now.
It's 12:10 in the afternoon.
It's pretty early. So yeah, this film, it doesn't really have a steady narrative throughout. It's more of a high concept art piece. I liken it to like performance art up until the very end. So at face value, the movie's about this young man and young woman who are going to see, they're dating. They're going to visit the young man's family on a farm.
She's meeting his parents for the first time.
They've been dating for 6 or 7 weeks or whatever it is, and they're going to meet his family, and everything's just weird. First off, they're driving through a snowstorm, and it's like a 20-minute set piece of just them sitting there talking in the car, which I thought, great piece. Great. I feel like I'm spoiling already.
Yeah, so
all right. So most of this movie is just talking, and I thought the actors.
Pause. 99% of this movie is just talking.
Yeah, and I thought the actors did a great job. The writing was great. The acting was great. The camera work was great.
Camera work was amazing. So yeah, I'm jumping in now because I'm not gonna have much else to say. The camera work was amazing. Like just as they're duologuing, as I like to say.
It's called a dialogue.
Just two people monologuing. Because really they're not having a conversation, for real. They're kind of just talking to themselves, or talking to us as the audience, and then so the camera's here, the camera's there, the camera's here. Camera work is...
No, I disagree with that. They're talking to each other, but the young woman, who's not even named, like she has multiple names throughout the film, spoilers, she's has an inner monologue. So I'm assuming that's how it is in the book. They're having their conversation. Then her monologue is explaining what's going on to us, the audience. Yeah,
but there's also times where they're kind of both literally physically talking out loud, like they're arguing based off of the topic that they're discussing. But then they're not really listening to each other. But regardless,
that's how a lot of people talk.
Facts. What'd you say? But it's a lot of talking, and I think it would be easier to describe the spoiler-free review in picture form. So what you're about to see is a Deuce Ace exclusive. It is my reactions throughout the movie. Here we go.
I'm not quite sure what's happening.
And alright.
What?
So
I don't know what that was.
So you just saw how I felt throughout the movie. You can add the words that you think are associated with my emotions. Hashtag let me get an Oscar. But yeah, this movie, without going into spoilers, was very artistic. You could tell the art is there. I could appreciate the art. But I can't be entertained by like people just talking. And you're throwing in elements of horror and suspense and thrill in there. But it doesn't pay off because I have no idea what's going on.
And I loved it. You have no idea what's going on. It's extremely interesting. You could ask Deuce. I'm spewing like 10 different theories within the 2-hour film. I'm like, oh, maybe this is going to happen. Maybe this is going to happen. Like, it doesn't keep you on the edge of your seat, but it keeps you engaged throughout the whole thing, in my opinion.
I can't deny that. You're engaged because you're like, what in the world am I watching? But it's not in the sense of like, what in the world am I watching? I hate it. So I will agree. Like it, I can't say that it's bad.
Because it's good.
I could just appreciate it and be like, man, I have no idea what's going on. Now I've never seen any other Charlie Kaufman films, but this is in that line of directing of Stanley Kubrick, of Darren Aronofsky. Sorry for butchering the name, but Black Swan and Requiem for a Dream. That this type of stuff. This stuff is literally artistic. It's trying to convey a message in a very nuanced, very unique manner, and I appreciate that. I just don't get the message.
Hey man, I don't know if I get the message. I think I got the message, and we'll talk about that more on the spoilers part.
All right, time to rank this. As always, if you're new, we give a spoiler-free half up front, score it, and then dive into the spoilers.
We should have a graphic for our scores. Like a big number. You cut that out. We should. Just brainstorm. Okay.
All right. So again, we don't discuss our scores in advance. Let's drop this thing. 3, 2, 1.
9.
5.
Come on, this is a really good film. I enjoyed myself thoroughly from beginning
SpongeBob.
to end. What? How do you say SpongeBob? I don't understand.
So I'm back. This dude gave this movie a 9 out of 10.
Based off of pure enjoyment, pure artistic value, and from what I believe the movie was trying to convey, yes, I believe this movie is a 9 out of 10.
What's the average of 9 and 5? I can't.
7.5.
All right, so
That's not even true. It's 7. Straight up 7.
yeah, it's definitely 7.
Come on.
7 out of 10 for this somehow. Yeah, so follow us on social media at Bro to the Movies. Time for the spoilers. Ace, go right ahead, man.
I mean, it's hard to review because most of the time we're reviewing the plot of the movie, and the plot of this. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I think the message of the movie is.
But before you do that, there is a plot, and let me tell you why I can't.
But it's like the plot doesn't really matter though.
But we can't be like there's no plot. The plot is that they're going to meet the family. Family's crazy. There's a existential time crisis going on, and janitors work really late in snowstorms, and naked janitors and pigs.
Okay, so I believe the whole movie was just the demented fantasies of the janitor who is Jake. Can we agree that Jake was the janitor?
I believe that Jake was the janitor.
Okay. Excuse me. So, towards the when him and the girl first get to the farm,
We can call her Lucy. I mean, that's what Lucia. I mean, she's called Lucy the majority of the film.
Actually, but I looked it up. They call her Lucia Ames because she does not really exist. Everything that happens before the very end of the movie is not really happening, I believe.
And the very end of the movie is happening?
I think the only real scene is when the janitor is naked in his car, and he's about to, I believe, freeze to death. He's thinking about ending things. Throughout the movie, the girl who we're going to call Lucy keeps saying, I'm thinking of ending things, I'm thinking of ending things, in relation to their relationship, but I believe it's really him getting ready to kill himself. Towards the beginning of the film, when they first get to the farm, he tells a story about how, because of their laziness, his dad, there's like a pig that was dying and they just kept throwing food at it, even though it was sitting there dead, and it was rotting and maggots were coming out. Let me pull up my notes real quick. I believe the maggot pig is a metaphor for how he is feeding into his own delusions.
Dang, that's deep, bro.
Thanks, man. I don't know if he's just like old and has Alzheimer's or he has mental illness, whatever, but he is feeding into the delusion of his life by being like, oh yeah man, I was definitely dating this girl, oh yeah man, this happened, and he is constantly living his life in the past, destroying his current life. And I think a picture of that is shown towards the end during the ballet scene when, it's picturesque. They're two beautiful people. They're having a ballet, having a nice dance. They're getting married. But then reality comes in and kills his fantasy. The reality of him being the janitor. He kills his fictitious self, his mental image of himself, because it's not real. He's come to terms with the fact that this didn't really happen. And I believe that's why he then goes on and tries to commit suicide.
I wholeheartedly can see that. I don't disagree. You know, for a movie like this, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of... I'm thinking of anything explained. I'm thinking of anything ballet dancing scene explained. So there's going to be a lot of explanations out there. And hey, man, I'm glad you added to that.
Yeah, man. And I lost my train of thoughts a little bit. And I think everything leading up to when they get to the high school and the janitor stuff starts happening, it's just, you know, none of it actually happened. It's just his, I'm kind of repeating myself, but it's his fantasies of what could have happened. So that's why I said I don't think the plot of the movie actually matters. I think what Charlie Kaufman was trying to show was what someone's mind state is like when they're just remembering the past, when the past isn't actually how they remembered it.
So I can get that, especially in light of his parents. I get that, and especially in light of the conversations about time. I mean, because you know my beliefs. Time is in your mind. Time is not a real thing, but that's not what this video is for. So I get that. So, like, you know, what's the quote? She was like, we're not going through time. Time's going through us. Or another quote, other animals can live in the present, humans cannot. That's why they invented hope. So I understand that aspect, but then I don't understand Lucy. Like, is like, I don't understand the artistic choice to have her be a vehicle of his delusion. Because it's like she herself is delusional. Like, there's literally a scene where she just literally turns into another lady and turns back. Like, I don't understand, if this is his mind, why wouldn't she be a constant?
Because
if she's not even real.
So I think parts, like, I'm just spitballing. I think the story of them meeting in the bar, I think that's where the disconnect happens. There's a girl in a bar, trivia night, whatever's happening, and he wants to talk to her, but he's too shy, he doesn't talk to her. So then he's imagining what if. He can't remember what she looks like because she doesn't actually matter. It's his fantasy of what she would have been to him. That's why he can't remember her job. That's why he can't remember her name. Because all of this stuff is just delusions in his own mind.
So I understand that, but I'm saying, why is it that she's the one, you know, from our perspective, she's the one who's being transformed? Like, so there's that aspect where the switch up is happening to her, but then she's the one experiencing the switch up. She's the one who's seeing his parents age at different stages. Like, she's the one who's like, I want to go home. Like, well, what does she represent? Not in the sense of, I get what you're saying, that he's fantasizing about what could have been, but then she's the one experiencing so much change and, like, looking at a dog just shaking like that.
Again,
let me interject. So we're watching the movie. My dog's in here, white and black dog, and Ace is like, man, if your dog starts shaking like that, man, I'm getting out of here. Dog gets up. Sorry. He's not wet, and he doesn't normally do this. Literally, you know, shook off to drive himself off.
And I was about to run out of the house.
It was terrifying.
Yeah.
But carry on.
It was like 3 o'clock in the morning at that point too. It was crazy. But again, this may not be right, but in my opinion, I believe it's easier for him and his I feel like demented sounds mean.
It does.
To people with dementia.
Definitely. Very insensitive.
In his augmented mind state, it's easier for him to acknowledge these changes if he's going through her point of view.
I mean, I can understand it as an explanation, but as a viewer watching the movie, I don't get that. Now, maybe this is something that you got to digest. This is something like we got to watch. I'm not watching it again.
I definitely want to watch it again.
Gosh, something that one has to watch again. You know, go back. Oh my gosh, that, my God. And so, kudos to that. Kudos to the work, but I'm sorry, this is not my cup of tea. Like, again, you know, I'll use Requiem for a Dream as an example. Like, so yeah, very highbrow, very, you know, in your face, very out there film, but you can still get the message. Like, you could go back and digest it, but at face value, you can still get the message. And not necessarily enjoy it as entertainment, but enjoy it as art. I could appreciate this as entertainment. Excuse me. I can appreciate this as art, but I don't get any entertainment out of this. So, but that's just me. That's just me.
I got a lot of entertainment out of it. Even, I didn't come up with these, what I believe the movie's trying to say until like the very end. But just watching the movie, I'm like, oh, this is crazy. I was laughing because it was very jarring. Just, everything's going normal. Then, boom, his mom is old and in her sickbed. Boom, Remus Lupin is old and going crazy.
I have on Harry Potter pants, by the way.
It's very strange.
Okay.
Yeah, it was very jarring and very funny at the same time. So I'm saying, just at face value, I enjoyed the experience of watching this.
So I agree. There are some scenes like, oh man, haha, like, wow, that's outrageous, haha, oh my gosh. Again, very well acted movie. Like the performances, not keeping you on the edge of your seat in the action or story, but
there's no action.
It's very well acted. Like,
they can't hear you clap
because they don't exist.
No, Charlie Kaufman exists. Plemons exist. They're not watching our video.
Well, we know they are. We know you are. Please subscribe, Bro to Movies. But yeah, so I'm, shout out to them. Shout out to the camera team. Shout out to the, everyone involved. Like, again, yeah, I'm not detracting from this movie. It's just not my cup of tea.
But I think, you detract from all the work, all the greatness they put in by only giving it a 5, man. Like,
I gotta be real with myself. This is not. It's a 5 for me.
How can you be real when none of us even exist? What if all of these are just delusions in your mind? Deuce Ace Bro to the Movies isn't even a real thing, Deuce.
Is that why we don't got 1,000 subscribers?
Yeah, that's definitely why.
Okay, I can sleep at night now. But no, again, I have to review it and score it based off of me. Because you're my bro, I didn't expect you to give it a 9, but hey, I can understand how someone can give it a 9. I can understand how someone out there would give it a 10. But for the big Deuce, it's a 5. Because it's just like, I'm sitting there like, what am I watching? I appreciate it, so it literally is a 5. I can't do nothing else, man.
Alright, man. I guess I can accept that.
Okay, well. I'm Deuce.
I'm Ace.
And this has been Deuce and Ace, Bro to the Movies. Out.
Hey, Deuce and Ace here. Thanks again for sticking around for the whole video.
We're so glad you did. We hope you enjoyed the movie reviews, the trailer reactions, the funny bros, and the quality content. If you do, be sure to subscribe, check out these videos, and be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Bro to the Movies.
Deuce and Ace.